Faith is good, but it gets better with magic. Hello everyone, and welcome back down here to the Gamer's Den with me, your host, Jordan, your Master of Lore and Storyteller Extraordinaire, talking to you about the first level spells that the first edition Pathfinder Paladin gets access to. We are going into their spellcasting abilities today. But before we get into all of that, if you're new here to the channel, then go on down there, hit that subscribe button, and become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. Or, if you've already gone on ahead and listed yourself on such an incredible roster of legendary heroes, then go on down, hit that like button, and share the video far and wide. But now, let's actually get into the Paladin spellcasting, and to start us off, you take a little bit of a hit in regards to this. You gain access to spellcasting at 4th level. You need to have a charisma score equal to 10 plus the spell level being cast in order to cast it. You prepare spells ahead of time from your list. Now, when you're actually casting spells, your caster level is going to be equal to your character level minus 3, and that's where you really take your biggest hit, on top of the fact that you're picking up spell casting a bit late. But you restore your spell slots by quietly praying for 1 hour. And having a charisma score of 16, if you're following this guide, will grant you 1 bonus spell for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd level spells. So you'll get a little bit of extra spell casting out of it. Again, making it, hopefully emphasizing to you that charisma is important to you, especially with some of the different elements we're pulling together with this particular guide. Now, the fact that you're still spell casting at a lower effectively lower character level than normal, that hurts, but still having access to spellcasting gives you a lot of options and can do a lot to boost your abilities down the line. And given that there are also traits and other means of increasing your effective caster level, you can find workarounds with this. In particular, that trait comes to mind that helps to boost your caster level. But let's actually start talking about some of the different spells that you can gain access to. For example, we have Divine Favor. You target yourself to give yourself a +1 luck bonus to attack and damage rolls for every 3 caster levels, minimum 1, maximum of +3. This doesn't apply to spell damage, but still, this is great. So for your ranged attacks, all of your melee attacks, this will help to boost your ability to hit and your ability to deal damage. On top of the fact, if you have power attack on board, this will help to negate some of the penalties you are otherwise taking. And at level 4, you should be pretty comfortable about taking and making use of power attack if you are so choosing. Then we also have Hero's Defiance. You target yourself to instantly use 1 Lay on Hands charge to heal yourself when you're reduced to 0 or fewer hit points, and you get an extra 1d6 on the healing, and this is done as an immediate action. If you go above 0, you can remain conscious and are still able to act. This is great, especially again, as we've established, you have all of these other features that accompany Lay on Hands. So if you've been afflicted with some of the status effects we had talked about beforehand that Lay on Hands can potentially help you remove through your mercies, this will help to keep you going in the fight and remove some of these things, or at least block it for up to an hour. Something another commenter, a regular commenter and viewer, Captain Crank, had mentioned was that these Lay on Hands mercies are only able to suppress effects for up to an hour. For many of these things, that's probably going to be more than enough to outlast the duration, but for more permanent effects like curses, that's only going to suppress for an hour. Still useful, but worth remembering and keeping in mind as you go about playing the game. Then, we go on from there to Grace. You target yourself to prevent your movement from provoking attacks of opportunity until the end of your turn. This is valuable if you need to make your way through and get into position to attack a more important target, and if the target has a layer of guards in place. This way you can be shielded and protected and prevent extra damage from coming your way as you close that distance. Now, you may not always be looking to use this for offensive purposes. You may be needing to run away or sprint to somebody else's aid in their protection to get in close and make sure that they are going to remain safe. So this has uses for defensive and offensive movement and all kinds of tactical positioning as well. Don't limit yourself to just the offensive potential. Another spell to consider that is normally a cantrip is Read Magic. This will allow you to read magic inscriptions on scrolls, books, and weapons and can be made permanent. And this is one that you should probably try to make permanent just so you don't have to keep worrying about this, because having access to various scrolls and the like can do a lot to help boost your spellcasting abilities. Then, the next spell is an interesting one. It's Compel Hostility. You target yourself to force an opponent you can see to attack you instead of an ally, as an immediate action lasting for 1 round per level. You have to overcome the target's spell resistance, and the creature may make a will save to resist the compulsion. Now, why do I have this rated as something really good and then just kind of okay? Well, you don't have, because of your effectively lower caster level, the spell save DCs are not going to be as high for your spells as they will for others, meaning even opponents with lower will saving throws may have a better shot at resisting and overcoming this effect. And this also may not always be a spell prepared and used ahead of time. It's going to be difficult to know when you need to have this spell prepared in a lot of instances. But for those instances where you do need it, this is going to be incredibly useful to have. This is going to be great for you to have, and it's not one that could be readily or easily applied to a scroll necessarily. This is definitely good to have to where you can just cast it just like that at an instant, at a moment's notice, and not have to fumble with pulling a scroll out to try to get it going. So if you're in a situation where you know that some flanking is likely or even possible, and that's going to present a significant threat to, say, you're protecting and escorting an NPC, or if an ally of yours, one of your allied characters, say another player's wizard, needs to be protected in order to do whatever it is they need to do, even if it's just regular spell casting, Compel Hostility will make that happen. But it's going to be a little bit difficult to know when you are going to need this, and you could be using your spells on other things that are going to be more readily usable and available. Things like Word of Resolve. You target an ally within 25 feet plus 5 feet every 2 levels to instantly allow a reroll on a failed will save versus a fear or charm effect with the +4 sacred bonus. Now, you need your associated aura abilities that give bonuses against fear effects and charm effects, but that sacred bonus stacks with the morale bonus that your aura provides, meaning that your allies are likely to be getting, or it's possible for your allies to get a +8 bonus on this if you're within 10 feet of them or have a means of boosting the range of your aura. Joining me now is my most adorable co-host, Atticus, fresh from eating a delicious cold snack today. Initiate storyteller, still as yet uninitiated to any circles of lore, but no less adorable and no less the effective chaos baby for it. How are you doing today, son? You want to say hi? That's okay, you don't have to. Anyways, we'll keep moving on from there. Actually, that is it. I got distracted there. So, what do you think? Go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Did you like today's video? Did you dislike it? Let me know what spells you might consider. Certainly there are classics available to the Paladin that are available to lots of other divine spellcasters that are useful. Spells like Bless are absolutely useful, especially at these lower levels. But again, let me know your thoughts and comments down below and what spells you might suggest as alternatives to this, and what situations you might find certain other less often used spells actually surprisingly viable or effective. Either way, hit those like or dislike buttons, and remember, go on down to the comments below and let me know your thoughts, and hit that subscribe button to become a regular member here at the Gamer's Den. But with all that said, I've been your host, Jordan, your master of lore and storyteller extraordinaire. Thank you all so much for your time, and you have yourselves a good night.